Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, we have our family podcast, Big Sam and Nephews. This is my nephew. One nephew's not here, but, one nephew's here, and that's the one that counts. And also, Nathan Marlowe is also the other, our other co-host on the show. And today, we have another guest.
Woo!
Another guest. I want to welcome Chris. How you doing, Chris? What's going on, man?
I'm doing good. We just hanging out here at the movie. The kids wanted to go see a movie, so I told them that we can do it. They in the movie theater right now with their mom.
Man, what y'all watching, man? What y'all watching?
They watching that new The League of Their Own, the little Kevin Hart and The Rock little dog movie, little cartoon dog movie.
I did want to see that.
Yeah.
Am I a big baby? I'm a big baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, what's been going on? What's going on in your life?
I just started barber school last week. Today was my second full week of barber school, and it's something totally different. Like for me, added to my bag. I always coached basketball. Going to the barbershop is different, but now I'm on the other end of the barbershop. So been doing that. I got 9 months of that, and I'm gonna be a master barber. Kids, man, I should say the kids. Parents have pushed me almost to the edge to stop coaching sports, man. It's been crazy. So yeah, I've just been doing the barber school stuff and then just kind of focusing on letting Christopher relax. We had a crazy AAU summer, and now it's time for him to relax. He starts football on Monday, so here in a couple of days starts football. So we're going to shift the gears from basketball to football.
Now, we were talking about CJ and phenomenal basketball player. Now, what grade is he in now?
He's going to be going into fourth grade. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I brought him down to his age group this year so he could play his age. And his game has taken a turn. Like, I've seen the confidence in his game and the development in his game go from a kid sitting in the corner hoping to get a swing pass for a three to now you got to be the guy bringing the ball up, breaking the press, passing the ball, setting up the offense, being the leader, and seeing how much of an impact he has on the game for his team. It's been selfishly as a dad, it's been like amazing. As a coach, it's just like, wow. He got hurt a little bit the end of June, so he had to miss a tournament. And, we went 0-6. And I was like, man. We didn't have our starting point guard. And it's just, it makes you value him more as a coach, for sure.
Now, he's a dual sport athlete because he plays, we always complain about, one guy just, concentrating on one sport, but not Chris. He plays football and he plays basketball. You ever thought about putting him in baseball at all or no?
I tried that. I tried to put him in baseball when he was younger. He didn't like it. My buddy actually is a college baseball coach here in Minnesota, and he's really good. And he trains, and I'm like, we've been trying to convince Chris to consider it, but he's like, no. And I think that's fine because a lot of people don't know in the spring and summertime, and even in the fall, he likes to run 5Ks. So he runs, on top of playing basketball and football. And I think as he gets older, that's going to translate to running track. And then potentially, I wouldn't be surprised if I see him running a marathon one day.
He just has all that energy, man. Yeah. You know what? I was been trying to get my son, because I coach track at his high school. So one of my buddies that I used to go to high school with, he's like, man, come over here and coach. And I'm like, man, okay, cool. So I go over there. But, a lot of the kids, he just likes to get out and run. He just, hey, man, they just literally just came. It's dark outside. They just came in the house like, him and my nephew, like, we're going to go play football. And I'm like, y'all go somewhere. I don't want to say go somewhere to sit down because, they're going to go upstairs and watch movies or something. But I'm like, that as long as they get outside and get some fresh air, you know what I'm saying? And then the track, because I ran track too. So that I think that really, really helped my athletic ability. Well, I started off running track, but I think it just helped me so much, just where I wasn't like pigeonholed to play basketball, football, baseball, soccer, whatever. I was just like to play. And, people don't understand. I'm like, yo, track is like a big thing. And, it's easier to get a scholarship in track than it is to get a scholarship in basketball. I'll tell you that.
For real.
What do you think? I think MLB is quite concerned with the fact, I'm a teacher, I work with the kids every day. MLB is quite concerned with young American boys who don't care for baseball. When Sam and I were growing up, everybody played baseball. If it wasn't raining, you played baseball, right? But it's just not like that anymore. So what do you guys think MLB should? I have some ideas. I want to find out what you guys think MLB should do to sort of stem that tide and make baseball America's pastime once again.
Well, part of the problem is that with baseball, they price the minority kids out of the game. Those traveling teams are like astronomical amounts of money that the parents spend just to play traveling baseball. And I think that is part, I'm not saying that that's MLB's problem, but it's a problem across the country because they form all these traveling teams. And I never heard about traveling until I got to Minnesota. It was like, what's a traveling team?
I know, right?
And I ended up coaching a traveling team, and it was a mess because the politics that goes on with this stuff, just crazy. And that's just
real quick question in response to that, Sam. If Byron Buxton if you coached Byron Buxton when he was a little guy, he's not from Minnesota, but just speaking hypothetically, and his parents didn't have the money to travel, would he have made the trip anyway?
Oh, Byron Buxton would have made the trip, trust me. But I was told that Byron Buxton is an all-around athlete. He played football. They said he could kick a ton of balls 60 feet in the air. Byron Buxton is a phenomenal athlete, period.
Well, my point is that I believe that if a coach anywhere sees a talent, you got guys whose grades aren't that great, but they end up getting, 4-year full rides to D1 schools, right? Or, they're super athletic, but their parents are kind of below they don't have a lot of extra money, right? Somehow those guys get picked up, get to travel, get to be a part of, because you're just not going to let athletes like that go. And I think the same thing would happen in baseball. I think a bigger issue, or more the issue, is that so many kids, especially in the inner cities, right, just aren't interested in baseball. But I think there's a way to fix that. But so what do you guys think of, what do you guys think we should do? Because they're really worried about it.
Do you think that the game of basketball has gotten so popular that that's an influence of inner city kids and kids not even in the inner, just all over? Just baseball is taking a back seat because basketball is just blew up over the last 20 years.
Basketball,
and not for when you and Sam were younger, I don't think basketball was as popular. Michael Jordan came in the league and kind of just took it to a different level. And then, you know, the 2000s come and then boom, it's on a whole nother level now. And, you know, now they got basketball all over the world, not just in the United States, but it's all over the world.
All three were popular. Baseball was number one, and football and basketball were, you know, kids, we loved them all kind of thing. It was
go ahead.
It was generally accepted that baseball was America's pastime. Now, of course, Sam and I grew up in what some say is baseball's greatest decade, greatest era, right? The 1970s. I mean, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Willie McCovey, Billy Williams. I mean, it's just the list is endless of the first ballot Hall of Famers. Athletes, they say Mays could throw a football 70 yards when he was a quarterback. He could throw a football 70 yards. Oh, just got a message from an old high school buddy of mine. One with great legs. Okay. Yeah. I'll hit her back after the podcast. But so, you know,
but I think you're right. I think in a lot of aspects, you know, when Michael Jordan came around, you know, and the other thing is that guys now can go, if you're good enough and you're talented enough, a guy can go from high school to the pros. They don't have, and in baseball, you got to sit in the minor leagues. I just saw a guy last night had spent 10 years in the minor leagues for the Colorado Rockies. Got his first hit last night. 10 years he spent in the minor leagues. Well, I guess I wonder if, no, and I think the problem is that a lot of these young black kids are into the media gratification, and basketball provides that for them. But you have to be talented enough to reach that, because everybody's not going to get there. Right. And so, you know, and the same thing, football has got it right, because football is king. Because in football is, you know, you've got to spend the 4 years in college. You can't get around it.
Yeah, you got to do 3.
And you know, 3. Be with that. Football is a man's sport for sure. It's not a sport for 18-year-olds. Right?
No. It's real quick. I just seen an article today. It said, do you think high school football players should be allowed to make the jump past college to go to the NFL?
Oh, man, it's a whole different. They're not really.
I personally don't think that. It don't matter the level of a high school football player at any position. I don't think his body would be ready for the NFL at 17, 18 years old.
Nope. But the way that you posed the question, I'm going to answer it objectively. And my answer is yes. I do think that 18-year-olds should be allowed to play in the NFL. Okay? Constitutionally. Why? He's an adult. And if you short circuit that, then you're denying, you know, this, freedom, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. Where you're denying him his pursuit of happiness, and in that same regard, you're short circuiting his freedom, right? Now, that's my official answer. But I said that I elaborated for a reason, for the second part of the answer. But to finish this part, do I think there's an 18-year-old anywhere that could transition to the NFL? Almost certainly not. So I'm happy with the rule the way it is. Now, the reason I went, you know, I made a long story long, is because in basketball, I do think that stature-wise, talent-wise, there are some 18-year-olds or just out of high school guys, like LeBron, for instance, that could transition. Look, he's living proof. He did it, and he was good. Okay, there are more guys like that. So I want to ask, why do you guys think that in MLB, in hockey, in tennis, in swimming, or underwater BB stacking, if you're 18 and you want to go pro, you can, but you can't in the NBA? Why do you think that is?
I think it's a racial issue.
I do too.
That's what I believe. I'll tell you why. I think it because all those sports, tennis is another one. Golf, you can go pro early. Tennis, surely you can go pro early, right? And the thing about it is, why in football and a little bit of basketball, but mostly football, they keep saying that it's like slavery, but I disagree with that because slaves never got paid.
Too.
And the other thing is that I think a lot of it may have to do with the fact that they look at it like they're physically not capable of playing at 17, 18 years old. I get that part. That part I do get.
In basketball?
No, in football. I get that in football. Now in basketball, not so. I think so because Kevin Garnett is a good example. LeBron's a good example for that too. Tracy McGrady is another good example for that. The other guy, I forgot who, but anyway, a lot of guys have gone to pro early. Some of them end up being bust, some of them don't, but more of them end up being decent ball players within itself, and they end up helping the team get championships. But that is just in basketball. But I think in baseball, I agree with baseball too, because baseball you have to. And I work for a baseball team, so I watch a lot of these young guys practicing every single day, and it's repetitive. And they're physically not strong enough to hit these home runs. Because you look at Aaron Judge now, who's setting a record on pace, probably to hit over 50 some odd home runs.
He's on pace for 66 as of yesterday.
Right. And so just that alone, but you couldn't say that about Aaron Judge, 6 years ago, because he was toiling away down the highway in single A baseball, right? But I think the other thing, and I'll say this too. Now in track, you can go pro quickly too.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what I'd say. That's where I would say that it's probably not a racial issue, but on the same token, you got guys in the NHL. Now they have a minor league for the NHL too. They don't just throw these guys in the pro hockey. Every so often you'll see a guy like Crosby or Gretzky or one of those guys, but those guys are far and few in between. So I
don't think the entire panel saw Gretzky, who I think is the greatest hockey player by far. There is no comparison.
Yeah, his numbers is crazy. I seen him play. I was like, what the heck? I mean, there's a little
Gretzky, he couldn't press 135 when he got when they drafted him, but it didn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, that's a
no.
I think
Wayne Gretzky is just like a freak. He's like a freak of nature,
right?
But on ice,
right?
And that's the thing. But I say this to say that baseball, you kind of got to go through the steps of doing single A, and if you're good enough, sometimes your guy's good enough, guy can jump single A to triple A, but that's very rarely do you see that. Mostly it's step by step, go single A, double A. We had a guy that just jumped mid-season. He's now playing double A up in Washington.
Well, see, double A is one. Double A, in my opinion, is a better gauge, a better barometer of who's going to be you in the major leagues. It's more than triple A. Triple A is some older guys, some guys from the majors that are rehabbing, right? Or some guys who develop slowly, right? But double A, I mean, I know a bunch of guys. Some of these same guys, Derek Dates, Johnny Walker. Some of these guys, Sam, that made it to double A, right? I think Johnny had the potential, honestly, right? To go, who knows, he was that kind of athlete, right?
Right.
But double A, that was it, because that's pro ball. That's pro ball. Those guys are good. those guys all are highly thought of, or they wouldn't have put them there, you know. So the thing is, we should probably keep in mind that, you know, 18-year-olds do make it to pro baseball, but it's, you know, rookie league, then single A, then high, you know, low A, then high A, then double A, then triple A, and then the majors in most cases, right? But that is pro ball. These are guys that get paid to play.
For sure. Yeah, because I look at some of those bodies on those guys, and you can just tell they played more than one sport in high school. They're big, legs are big, bodies are big. There's a cat right now with the Giants, man, that looks like a stud of a football player, but he's playing baseball.
What you already talking about Luciano?
No.
Oh, he's on the big league club.
No, he's single A. Over in San Jose. Play for San Jose right now.
What position?
I think it's third baseman, I do believe.
Schmidt?
Outfield.
Casey Schmidt? Casey Schmidt?
Might be.
He just got to play. This dude is knocking home. Yeah, he's a stud. Yeah, I look at him. He probably is going to end up in the major leagues at some point in time. Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just my own.
We're on the topic of race in sports. Why is there no black owners in the NFL?
Little boys club.
It's a lot of money, number one. Number two, some guys might have gotten what I call Cosby, right? Bill Cosby wanted to buy CBS years ago with CBS, like floundering. And then he came up with the idea of the Cosby Show, him and some other people probably. And that basically saved the network from, you know, they were close to, I don't know if they were going bankrupt, but they were not in good shape. And so, you know, he wanted to buy the network and had the money, right? And then they said at the last minute, well, no, you don't have enough money. So then he went, talked to Oprah, talked to Jordan, talked to some people, and he put together a conglomerate that had more than enough money. And then it's all of a sudden it's not for sale. So I think there may be some of that going on.
A lot. It's a lot.
Well, you know, but let's look at the other side of it. I mean, if you had an NFL franchise, would you want to sell it if that thing is every 5 years making you an extra $1 billion just on the value alone? So I think there's some of that. It's a closed circuit club.
What you say, Chris?
Denver Broncos.
Yeah. I mean,
what about the Broncos?
No, I'm just saying they just sold them not too long. You know, recently just got purchased by the Walton boy. We were talking about it today. We were just talking about it yesterday at the barbershop. How, you know, why is there not Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Kanye West, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, if you want? You know, there's so many black billionaires out there that could come together and purchase an NFL franchise. But why is that not the case?
Well, go ahead. I have my own philosophy on this. I think a lot of it is just being able to trust enough to put a group of people together to own a team. Because, you know, basically, like Magic Johnson owns about 5% of the Dodgers, right? So he's an owner still, right? Right. So now he's sold. He's out of that game. Okay. Michael Jordan owns, you know,
the majority
of the Charlotte Hornets. So that's probably the only black owner that I could think of
I thought there was a black woman that owned the Phoenix Suns or something like that, or was a part owner.
No. Shaq also owns a percentage of the Phoenix Suns. Also, he's got a small percentage of the Phoenix Suns. Also, yeah. That's. Go ahead.
Suns or the Kings, Sam?
The Suns. I'm sorry.
Used to own part of the Kings.
Yeah, he did. He had like 5% of the Kings.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the King. I'm sorry, it's the Kings. Yeah. I apologize. Not the Suns.
What
Kings.
What about Charles Johnson?
What is he? What's that?
Richest.
He used to own BET.
Hedge fund guy. He's the richest black person in America. He has more money than Oprah.
I just said that. I literally just, I was just thinking that. But I'm
Yeah, Charles. Right.
the,
Yeah.
But a lot of times, a lot of these people don't want to get into the sports game. So that again, you'd have to be into the sports game. Alex Rodriguez is he invested some money in with another co-owner. He's a minority, the co-owner of the Timberwolves. So that's again, even if they got a piece of it, I mean, because a lot of these times these people you're throwing names out, they're not even into wanting to own a sports franchise.
I think it's something, and I think the other part is that the right opportunities have to come about. So, is this going to be? I mean, because a sports team is an investment in itself. So you're talking about these millionaire, billionaire dudes that, hey man, how much is this going to make me? They don't think like the old white guys were like, hey, look, this is our play money because it was cheap. This is our play money, and this is what we're gonna do. And now the business has changed where now we're like, yo, if you're not making $1 billion, if you're not making 500 million for the year, you're not doing good.
I mean, but it's just like when Diddy was trying to, buy the Panthers. Remember when the Panthers were sell? That really broke down because he didn't have enough people to put the money together.
Right.
Buy that or buy that team. And Diddy's right behind, Jay and Dre and all them as far as money.
Yeah, look how long. But see, here goes the thing. When you start talking about the Walton kids, look how long their money is. You know what I'm saying? When you start talking about the guy who owns what's the person who owns Portland? There were Oracle software company like that. They're billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars a year. Steve, yeah, they got this money that is just like, dude, they got recurring money. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's their play money. And then you got to remember, they bought this team just like Portland. They bought the team for $200 million. You know what I'm saying? So now you're talking about $1 billion guy. Hey man, I still got $800 million in the bank.
Well, case in point, Glenn Taylor, who's probably one of the wealthiest guys in Minnesota, he owns a card company. That's how he started out making his money. He owned selling greeting cards, and he sold the Timberwolves for X number of dollars too. So he made a profit off of that.
Right.
That's how they make their money. It's the buy low, sell high, 5 to 10 to 20 years later.
Right.
Yeah.
Robert Kraft, who owns Kraft Foods, sells cheese, all the dairy products in the world.
He cleaned up.
A multi-billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think about Deshaun Watson and the NFL wanting to go back and kind of retry him again?
I think it's damage control.
Yeah.
They don't have another Ray Rice situation where it looks like you didn't do enough.
Yeah, but they can get Ray Rice out the league.
I don't agree with it, legally, right? I mean, he's paid his price. He's settled out of court with 20 of them. And I think there were 3 left that wanted to take it to court or something like that. I'm sure that I would bet that if he just upped the offer, they'd settle 2. Okay, so it's an image thing. And the league wants to save its image, which is why there's a control on who can own, who can come in, probably even who can be the head coach sort of thing, right?
Well, the commissioner of the NFL makes $60 million a year.
Jesus.
$60 million. And basically,
NFL make a year. How much does the NFL make a year, though?
Oh, billions of dollars.
That's
My gosh.
$20 billion. That's $60 million look, $60 million is a drop in the bucket compared to I make, $30-40 billion for the year. I mean, it's a high number a year that they make, and then it gets passed down to the owners and yada yada. But it's just like any other CEO, you start talking about, I mean, even the CEO of my company, I think he gets like $23 million. I'm like, yo, can I get my money? Can I get paid?
You are. It's called direct deposit.
Nah, man, it ain't enough. Trust me.
How much time we got?
Money.
How we looking time wise?
We got 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
My phone might at 6%. My phone might shut off.
Oh, god dang!
If you look at,
I've been looking for a charger.
Not rewrites, but the strong dude, built kind of like him, was running back from Dallas. He's still with Dallas.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, Zeke. Now here's further sort of evidence that it's all about imagery, right? Remember, Zeke grabbed. He didn't do a Trump grab. Okay, he grabbed a little bit higher, right? And he did an Anna Nicole Smith grab, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And it got out. Somebody took a picture of it. Got out. The league, of course. He ended up being suspended like 3 games or something like that. And let's say it was a consensual grab, right? I mean, that was his girlfriend or somebody he met she walked up and was all smiles. That all smiles for regular guys are different than all smiles for a big star. It means 2 different things, right? So He grabbed, no complaints, but it was photo. So the league got wind of it, saw it, he gets suspended. It's imagery. It's image, okay? So I think that a lot of what happens and doesn't happen is image, right? And the league is trying to promote itself as, clean and wholesome and accountable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so if you something to ruffle those feathers or, put just a ripple in the pond of their image, of their $60 billion a year image or whatever it is, right? Now, you're not going to mess with. You don't mess with big people's money.
But Robert Kraft, talk about imagery. Robert Kraft did the
same thing.
He grabbed. He grabbed
a whole prostitute. He had a whole prostitute.
Well, true.
But what color is he? But what color is he?
Hey, yep, bingo.
And Jerry Jones was paying a woman X number of dollars for many years, and the woman came out of the closet this year and said that Jerry Jones is my dad.
Well, who?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what it is.
Okay.
If we're talking about protecting the image of the league, I mean, in my opinion, I've always said that the Commanders, the owner, he should have been gone. He should have been gone years ago. But like with this whole scandal about all these ladies coming forward and all this stuff, like why is this man able to keep ownership of an organization and he can't even protect the females in his organization?
Same reason why Stephen Ross did Dolphins.
And the same. Well, the guy for the Commanders, the Washington Commanders, that guy is just a sleazebag extraordinaire.
You know what I'm saying? So like you telling me what Deshaun Watson did or allegedly did?
We don't know. It's not.
So
I don't think so. I heard on YouTube. I can't stand this dude because he's the one who ruined that short of Jip. Tampa Bay defensive back, Warren Sapp. Sapp was busting. He was busting on Deshaun Watson because apparently now I don't like massages. My chiropractor's giving me some that I like. That's the first time I've ever enjoyed. Found benefit of massages. They hurt to me. But now there's deep tissue massage, and apparently old Deshaun. I think I have to go back and watch the video. I don't even know if I can say this on YouTube, but
yes, you can. You can say whatever.
Go ahead.
Well, you guys go watch the video.
He'll have happy endings.
somewhere, or a little bit surprised, for a guy in the NFL or a regular man or whatever, So, I don't think he wants that out because it's just not, it sort of hints at something else, if you know what I'm saying.
It's so, what we like nowadays, an Instagram massage. If you haven't seen us rubbing their whole bodies on top of somebody, then go check it out.
Okay. We're probably talking about the same, probably saying the same thing, So he probably wants to keep that. That's why he paid, I guess, I don't know. But that's probably why he paid those 17 or 18 girls off. I bet part of that was an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Okay, here's $100,000, stop talking, right? If you say anything, I get my $100,000 back plus $100,000 or something like that,
Yeah, and
so I think taking his own image.
I don't know, man.
Speaking about image, baseball is suffering somewhat from an image too because Tatis got suspended. What was it? 80 games.
80 games. He's out.
That's a lot of games
for performance-enhancing drug usage.
Right.
They got to be good. They probably want to give.
But he was helping out. I mean, he was taking something for ringworm. If it's true or not, he should be suspended for 80 games for that.
Right.
I think that's a second offense, though.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's true or not. A ringworm medication, like the baseball got to figure that out.
See, here goes the thing, and here goes the stupid thing about medical everything. So it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you're NFL, track, whatever, right? If you take Powerade, I'm not promoting you, but if you could take something and say, hey, look, I'm taking whatever, and it has some kind of ingredient that we don't know about because we actually don't know everything that goes on into these medicines or everything else that are illegal. And people are just saying, hey, look, you need help with this? You should take this because it has whatever, right? That's on your safe list. But it has those traces of the other stuff that's not on the safe list. And I'm like, yeah, but that's stuff that's not on the safe list. Even if you have a trace of it, I'm like, dude, you should have a certain. It's like being DUI. You should have a certain amount in your system. Hey, I'm gonna test you this week, and then you know what? I'm gonna test you again because that's when you know that. And some of this stuff doesn't even go. I mean, hell, THC doesn't even go out of your body for 60 days to 90 days.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is why, man, all this stuff is crazy, but I'm just saying this is how they do, and it's just like, they ignore some stuff. I mean, hell, I took a drug test for a job, and they were like, you were on cocaine. I was like, I have no cocaine in my body, but I took some medicine.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, about to die. What the hell?
Wow. From medicine, right?
Yeah, from medicine. So, it's highly plausible that it could be something for ringworm, something for whatever we don't know about. But yeah, man, it's hopefully.
Well, the thing about it is that 80 games is a lot of games.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of money.
It'll probably be about this time next year. He'll be have served his time.
Yeah, he gets
maybe not that long, but it's going to be.
He took like 35 games in the next season.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I think that's going to hurt
Padres.
The Padres because with Tatis, another stud in the lineup, you just got Soto from the Washington team, and then you got Manny Machado who's hitting the daylights out of the ball. They just don't have
the first baseman.
Yep.
Right.
God.
They need Manny, they need Fernando, Tatis, they need every piece of the puzzle.
And he just came back from injury.
Right. And the piece of the puzzle is that he's out now for a significant amount of games. And so the problem is you're not going to catch the Dodgers.
Nope.
Sorry.
Yes.
Somebody told on them. Somebody told on them.
They had to have.
We got
They had to.
3 minutes, Unc.
They had to.
Anyway, but the key now, it's not about winning the division. You know, that's just, you get a first round bye, but you get into the playoffs, go in hot. And I couldn't believe you guys last week said that the Mets are not, man, they were playing 6:30 ball without DeGrom and Scherzer. Think about that. 2/3 of the season, they get playing 6:30 ball, and now they get Scherzer and DeGrom back.
They smacked the Braves up so bad. I was like, oh, the Braves ain't shit. Oops, sorry. Braves.
Yeah, that's what I said last year. Yeah. Go in hot. That's the thing. Who gets hot at the right time?
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I think San Diego's still in pretty good shape. I mean, they're not going to catch that LA team. That's not going to happen.
Dodgers.
What? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
Listen.
Yeah. So
we got 2 minutes on.
Okay, right. I want to wrap it up. I want to thank everyone. Chris, I want to thank you for coming on. We're going to have you back on, you know, again.
Would love it. You let me win, I would love it.
I will do that. And also, I want to thank, you know, Nate for coming on, Javier for coming on, Parker for coming on. Appreciate you guys very much. And again, please subscribe to this on this telecast. We send it down to Atlanta, the show down to Atlanta. It gets produced by Ashley. Ashley produces it, comes back, it goes on YouTube. So please subscribe when you can. Right.
Right here.
That's oh. So wait a minute. Chris, you went from coaching to haircutting, huh?
Yes, sir.
Now, what barber college is it in Minneapolis that you go to?
I'm at the original Moeller Barber College in Fridley.
Oh, yeah. On Central Avenue.
Yep.
I know where that's at. Sure do. Not that far from the White's job, huh?
Yes, sir. Hey, we've been having lunch a couple times.
That's sweet.
Nice.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Well,
I'll tell you this to your face, Chris. You're an outstanding dad because you know you do so much for not just your kids, the kids up in St. Cloud. Period. And hats off to you.
Appreciate you.
And we lost a good one. Clyde Turner passed away this week. I've known Clyde for about 35 years. As long as I've been in Minnesota, I know him as fine. He played for the Gophers. Back, remember when they had the fight with Corky Taylor, Dave Winfield, Clyde Turner? Well, Clyde got the worst end of it because he got suspended pretty much most of the season. And it killed their Big Ten title. But he's fine. He has the longest running basketball camp in the Twin Cities. Man. Clyde Turner, fine gentleman. He passed away this week. So with that, I want to say good night to everyone. Thank you all for coming on, and we'll catch you next week. We're gonna talk to you guys about doing the show maybe on Thursday because I gotta go back to work Friday night next week. So maybe we'll do it on Thursday night. How about that? Just saying. We'll do that. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll catch you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.